culture hero, coming to save us all. You never judged us, taught us to stand up tall. Pop culture hero, taught us to be as one. After the prequels, the healing has begun. The healing has begun.
Blistering guitar solo.
Walking the thin line between heaven, earth, and hell. Pop culture hero, saving us from ourselves.
Hey guys, Maniac here with GameAccess.net. It's been a while since I've done a top 5 cutscenes, hasn't it? But I'm going to rectify that right now. This week, we're going to be doing a top 5 on one of the most underrated games of all time. A game that, at its initial release, got really high reviews and next to no sales. But yet, it's got a huge pedigree behind it. A game god directed it. It's a fun game that holds up even to this day. And its humor will still make you laugh. Yes, I'm talking about 2005's Psychonauts. Psychonauts was a 3D action platformer, which came from Tim Schafer, who had worked previously with LucasArts on games like Monkey Island and Grim Fandango. Originally, it was planned to be a Microsoft-published Xbox exclusive, but when its major Microsoft proponent left the company, publishing was picked up by Majesco, who in 2005 was going through a renaissance. The current-gen consoles had gotten long in the tooth, and a lot of game development was either going back to the PC or developing for the recently released handhelds like the PlayStation Portable and Nintendo DS. Majesco was releasing some very quirky AAA games in direct competition with the bigger publishers, like Activision and EA, and holding their own, but they wouldn't be able to hold their ground for long. It's my opinion that Majesco directed their marketing budgets towards games they thought would sell instead of games that were just really, really good. Most of the major advertising muscle went towards games like Advent Rising and the Blood Rain series, which received average scores by reviewers, instead of the games that they were working on that were just really, really good, like Psychonauts or Infected. Without the major marketing muscle of a multi-platform game release just as the console generation was winding down, Psychonauts was an initial flop that not even the high reviews could alter. After 2005, Majesco stopped publishing AAA titles and instead decided to focus on value software, where they've been ever since. It's quite a shame, really. Psychonauts' humor and good gameplay made it a cult game for years. And Infected is still to this day my favorite PSP game of all time, and it was released the year the console launched. I've already written an obituary about the company, then you can check it out on my website if you want. Now the rules to scoring these cutscenes are going to be as follows. I'm only going to be able to include pre-rendered scenes. So in-engine game cutscenes I won't be able to count. They weren't too long to begin with in most cases. While they were kind of good for a chuckle, they were pretty short. So only pre-rendered cutscenes. Secondly, what we're going to be scoring them based upon. Well, humor, humor, and humor. Basically, I'm going to be counting down the 5 funniest in sequence to how funny each one of them are. And trust me, this was a very difficult list to make. This entire game was hilarious. But we're going to try to make it. So, I want you guys to kick back, relax, and enjoy this top 5 in Psychonaut cutscenes. And this is number 5. Number 5, this was probably a good one to start off with. It was really good at setting the tone of the game, it was really good at setting the characters, and it was really good at showing you that this is a different kind of game. And of course I'm talking about the opening intro cutscene. What made this so funny? Well, it definitely did a really good job at introducing the characters, introducing the adults, as well as introducing a lot of the auxiliary characters, meaning the kids at the camp. But what really made me laugh was hearing a lot of the dialogue that Coach Oleander was saying, but also a lot of this dialogue that the kids were just kind of blurting out. Rasputin's introduction was hilariously done. You get to see that he was a professional, even without training whatsoever. He could hold his own against very powerful psychic camp counselors and psychonauts, which was quite impressive even to them. So it just showed you just what kind of character it was that you were going to be playing. And also, it was really funny in that you get to see how the students actually acted like kids. You know, they were scared at night. They had little petty squabbles amongst themselves. You got to see that this was going to be a cross between realistic characters, which were kind of funny, and this quirky new type of game style. So I think it was a great way to open it up. I thought it was pretty funny, and that's why it's number 5.
The human mind. 600 miles of synaptic fiber, 5.5 ounces of cranial fluid, 1,500 grams of complex neural matter, a 3-pound pile of dreams. But I'll tell you what it really is. It is the ultimate battlefield, and the ultimate weapon. The wars of this modern age, the psychic age, are all fought somewhere between these damp, curvaceous undulations. From this day forward, you are all psychic soldiers, paranormal paratroopers, mental marines who are about to ship out on the adventure of their lives. This is our beachhead, and this is your landing craft. You shall engage the enemy in his own mentality. You shall chase his dreams. You shall fight his demons. You shall live his nightmares. And those of you who fight well, you will find yourselves on the path to becoming international secret agents. In other words, Psychonauts. The rest of you will die.
Oh, Maury.
Children, you are not going to die.
Well, if you're not a psychonaut, then you might as well be dead.
They told me this was a summer camp.
Doogan. Don't worry about old Coach Oleander. I've been coming here for years, and trust me, nothing ever happens.
Yeah, Doogan, Lily's right. You don't got nothing to worry about. Except for that giant monster in the lake I was telling you about.
Bobby Zilch! I told you to stop scaring people with that ridiculous old legend. I don't want the kids to be afraid to go out at night and walk alone on the perfectly safe paths of Whispering Rock Psychic Summer Camp. And we don't want to scare our special guests, superstar psychonauts Sasha 9 and Mia Vodello.
Whoa! Light monster!
Formation.
It's resisting. Quick, bring it over here.
What is it?
It's just a little boy. What's your name, darling?
I'll find out. Kid, get in! Ugh.
My name
Starts with a D.
is Rasputin. But everybody calls me Raz.
Please don't kill us, lake monster!
Compelling.
Armored like a tank.
Sorry I'm late. I don't want to disrupt your briefing, Agent Oleander. Agents 9, Vodello, please, continue.
Where do you think you're going?
You've broken into a highly classified remote government training facility.
I know. Isn't it great? Listen, why don't I just sit over here quietly with my fellow psychedets? Hey, how's it going? I like your hat.
We need to have this young man taken from here immediately.
I'll call his parents.
What? But don't you train psychonauts here?
Yes, darling, but...
To soar across the astral plane. To wage psychic warfare against the enemies of free thought.
That is what I wrote on the front of the pamphlet.
Those words are why I'm here, Coach Oleander. Do you remember what you wrote on the inside of that pamphlet? You were born with a special gift. But the people around you treat it like a curse. Your mother is afraid of you. And your father looks at you with shame in his eyes. Come to Whispering Rock Psychic Summer Camp, and you can show them all. Back home, your powers make you a loner, an outcast, a circus freak. But in this dojo, in this psychic dojo, they make you a hero.
Get that soldier a bunk.
Now, darling, you can stay here for a few days until your parents come for you, but we can't let you participate in any paranormal training without your parents' consent. I'm sorry.
Wowie. You're so lucky. You get to go home soon.
Home? Back there, I was just like you were, Doogan. Punished by my own family for having powers I never asked for. But here, I have a chance to be something, to make a difference. They may come for me, Doogan, but they'll be looking for Raz, the boy. What they're going to find, what they don't expect, is Raz, the Psychonaut.
And then you'll make their heads explode?
No. Do you do that?
No. Well, once kinda. But now I wear this special hat. Wanna try it on?
No.
But he has mental defenses like I've never seen in someone so young. If I could just get him in my lab for some experiments, I'm sure he could withstand more than the others.
That kid's 1 in a million, Nine. But I'm not gonna let you turn him into one of your guinea pigs. I've got big plans for that mind.
And now we're at number 4. And number 4 is Doogan's brain. Well, I happen to be a big fan of Doogan. I think he's a really funny character. I love a lot of his dialogue in the game. And this was just a really funny sequence because we got to see Doogan interacting with who was going to be revealed as, but it was pretty obvious at the time, the game's main villain, Dr. Lobato. And the reason why I liked it so much is because the dialogue that he has with Doogan is just hilarious. I don't want to give away exactly what he says because you really got to watch it for yourself. I would be kind of giving it away to other people that wouldn't see it. But you can just see that you have this mad scientist interacting with a small child who is kind of being a cross between passive-aggressive and just plain special. It's an adorable sequence for Doogan. It's a hilarious sequence for Lobato. It ends really hilariously. That's why it's number 4.
Little boy, I am sorry to say that you have a very serious mental problem. The trouble originates in this area. Here, the area that we in the medical profession like to refer to as the brain. You see, son, it's just no good. I hate to be so blunt, but you have the insanity of a manatee.
I know. People are always saying that. What do you think's wrong with my brain, Doctor?
How should I know? I'm a dentist. But here's what I do know. If a tooth is bad, you pull it.
But my teeth are fine.
Yep, mad brain's got to come out, boy. It's the quickest way to cure what you've got. Insanity of the mind.
But I don't wanna.
Shh. Now hold still. This will only hurt until your brains come flying out.
Get back! No!
Why are you screaming? All right, I remember. Oh, good boy. There's that pesky brain. Here's a tissue. Now, don't you feel better, my dear lad?
TV?
Of course! Right here! And this Had to. We'll just drop it in the old garbage chute. Now don't chew solid foods for 6 hours. Lily.